This is the door for the other side, and you can see that this piece here is broken off. I'm not going to reproduce the entire thing, just this bracket here, which is visible from the outside, and make that piece in styrene and then solvent weld it to here and paint it. It should be good enough, at least from a distance. So get to work, and I'll show you the results, because cutting styrene is probably the most boring thing in the universe to show. I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Made a couple of pieces of styrene will be glued together, and it should be high enough so that I can position the new part and have it set without falling down and being out of place. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's see. It's the straightest edge here. Looks like that one maybe. Alright, I cut this edge straight, sort of straight, anyway, straight enough. And now we're going to glue it to this thing. And hopefully get it kind of lined up. It should be good enough. I made a little jig. Well, not really a jig. It's just a couple of pieces of styrene that is about the same height as the piece I'm gluing to. So let's see if we can get this thing glued. It's no big deal if I can't, but still, I'd like to have it glued on. It's a little awkward here with the camera. Looks okay. I'll take this thing and stab it. Plop it down here. Push it up so it's kind of the right height. Now my shim here is a little bit high. Actually, it's quite a lot high. Can't really see this too well. It's black. Wait a little bit for that thing to start to weld, and then we'll see if we can get it into the right position. It's about right if it'll stay. Let's see. Still a bit too high. Yeah, it looks alright. I'll let it sit there for, I don't know, maybe an hour. It ought to be ready to take the shim out and paint this thing. That little piece has been fabricated and glued to the door without the bottom piece, which is okay because I just want it to be visible from the side, and if I put this piece on, I don't know if it's going to hold or not, so we'll do it this way for the time being. Maybe add the rest of it later. We'll see. I'm going to paint once there. I'll put that Rain-X ammonia-free glass cleaner in there as a wetting agent. Oop, that's a little bit too much, but that's okay. Got a lot of this stuff. This is this stuff, apple barrel black matte quick drying acrylic. We got to mix that up, and then we'll just dab some paint on it. Alrighty, let's do some painting. It's a little awkward with the camera here, but that should do it. And this part will blend, I think will blend in with the track. If not, I didn't paint the back here, so I can fabricate these little pieces and glue that back in if I want to or need to. I'm going to do a little touch up here. These have some of the paint worn off, exposing the white plastic underneath. So I'm going to hit those with a dab of paint. I made a mistake on this door here when I was mounting this little bracket here. I mounted it on top of this part of the door, and when I got it on the car I realized that it should have been butt mounted to the bracket, not mounted on top. This was too high, so I cut it off and repositioned it so that it was the proper height, and tested it on the car to make sure that it was, and it's a lot better. I used the same technique that I used before, so there was no real problem in doing that. I'll give it an edge on view here. See, it's perfectly lined up. Perfectly lined up now. So that's been fixed. I need to file it, sand it, file it a little bit, sand it, and make it look a little better. Left the back here unpainted in case I decide at some later date to put in the rest of the bracket, this part here. But for now I'm going to leave it like that. Alright, well, I'll get to work on finishing this up and reassemble the car yet again. So, alright, we'll do a little bit of filing on this thing mostly to get the gloss off from the glue. And this is all very fiddly stuff. Holding it for the camera is awkward. Be careful not to break it. Let's see. Do it this way. Just for in focus more or less. It's not entirely cured, a little bit loose. It's been sitting there for a day. So anyway, I'll slap some paint on it and call it done. Alright, so looks like that's done. Stuff dries quickly, so I can put it on the car in just a few minutes. See you soon, and thanks for watching.